The next wave of business leaders won't just use AI, they'll master momentum with it, starting now. Welcome to the Mastering AI Momentum Show, where visionary founders and driven business leaders turn artificial intelligence, automation, and scalable systems into real growth, real scale, and real freedom. If you're ready to break bottlenecks, reclaim your title, and scale smarter, this is your playbook. Let's dive in. Here are your hosts, Allie Porter and Elise Smith.
Welcome to the Mastering AI Momentum Show, where today's top entrepreneurs share how they're scaling smarter, evolving faster, and navigating the future of business. My name's Elise Smith, your business AI strategist, and I'm here with an incredible gentleman named Bryce Wheeler. So welcome, Bryce.
Hey, thanks for having me on today.
Of course. So let's read a little bit about Bryce here. So he is the founder and CEO of Launch Lab, Inc., a digital marketing and technology agency helping businesses scale with AI-driven strategies, which of course I just love, and go-to-market execution. He also created My Property Software, an all-in-one platform transforming commercial real estate with automation and AI features. With a career spanning marketing, technology, and real estate, Bryce has worked with land developers, multifamily operators, and brokerages to modernize customer acquisition and accelerate growth. So once again, welcome, Bryce. I'm just excited to have you on the show, and I love how excited you are about AI.
We love AI. I also love hearing other people say my story because it never sounds as good when I say it.
I love it. So I would love to ask you, in your own words, who do you serve and how do you serve them?
We serve a wide variety, but we kind of core in on small businesses really trying to scale up, but they're not quite sure how, and then kind of mid-market and a lot in the real estate world. So we've got a few different components of our company that we've got a variety of clients, but they all kind of intermingle with each other. So it's worked really well for us and for them, where we've had some shared benefits from client to client even, which is you don't often see.
Yeah, sounds like you really kind of meet people where they're at and help them with what they need, right?
Yeah, I mean that's kind of our partnership plan. You know, the model is provide people with what they need to help them scale. Don't oversell them, don't kind of overpush them, but get them comfortable, kind of getting to that next step. You know, AI is where we're at right now with people, is helping them kind of understand it's for more than just making captions for social posts, you know?
Definitely. So tell us a little bit more about what you're doing in the AI space.
Currently, for our commercial real estate software and arm of the division, we have AI that will answer the phone for people and then can go through their knowledge base, answer questions, can forward over to the the real estate agent or broker, as well as chat on the page. And then we just started dipping into this real fun part where it takes kind of all the CRM and workflow pieces over for them, so they can just kind of say like, hey, I need to move this deal to this part of the stage, I need it to do this, and it starts learning their flows and just kind of moving things along. So it gives our real estate brokers the ability to really sell and not have to be, AI agents in computers and moving stuff around.
Yeah, isn't that so cool? We built a similar AI agent we call Knox that really follows up and updates the CRM and books calls for them and does follow-up messages. It is so neat that we can shift our focus as business owners or real estate agents or whoever that is that's using it from these detailed tasks that have to be done, like the monotony of all the tasks that have to be done in our business, to really focusing on the human aspect of business. And I feel like that's really what you guys are focused on too.
Well, yeah, I mean, our clients are really, they look at relationship business type business building, and what they weren't doing for the past 5 years is really building the relationships. They were updating software, moving people through pipelines, checking, and so just putting the software to work on it to help them to, they're actually, it's funny, they're really surprised when they come back and they're like, oh, who followed up with you? Oh, and it's whatever they name their AI. Oh, Elise, called and made an appointment, and you want to tour the property? Great. So it's it's kind of funny when they start seeing it happen, because we're still at that point where you're like talking people into like, this is going to be really helpful for you, and then you get the proof of concept, and you get some pretty funny emails from them like, oh my God, I didn't realize it was doing this for me.
Yeah. And I think it makes you think about how many monotonous things you're doing every single day in your business that you can have AI take off your plate. Which is exciting. And we're honestly just getting started with AI. So who knows where it's going to go from here.
Yeah. I mean,
good. Yeah. Well, tell me a little bit more about your start in entrepreneurship. What sparked Launch Lab from your early days in property management, it sounds like?
Sure. So, I mean, helped start a property management company, which is doing great now. Exited there in 2018. Started a restaurant consulting, had 20 plus years in restaurants and restaurant management, and all the way up through, corporate executive level. And just really thought like there was a place for that there. And we're doing really good with that. But every restaurant that we talked to, there was like 3 other clients that they had, or friends or businesses that they had. And we're like, really like turning down business here. I mean, maybe we should look into this. And luckily we did, because we like about doubled our portfolio of business right before COVID, and all the restaurants shut down. So we doubled it, and then half of it went away right away. And, people are always like, oh, you guys really saw that coming. I'm like,
yeah,
sure. I'm not going to take credit where it's not due. We were just making a shift there, like, hey, we can do what we're doing for restaurants, but apply it across a multitude of businesses. And it's funny because usually people start off really big and then start like niching down, and we went the other way. We were niched, and then luckily we spread, and then a lot of experience on the team in real estate between multifamily, residential, and commercial. We started developing some software for clients, and then suddenly we're like, hey, we can develop this for ourselves. That's where my property came from. It's been doing pretty good.
I love that. And it's neat that we can have something in our head, right? Like an idea. And with AI and with technology, we can bring it to light so much easier than we used to could, if that's a word.
Well, yeah, it's funny because what we originally developed, and with the adding AI to it now, 5 years later, the amount of work that we had to do to get it to where it was, and that we could just reproduce that again with AI's assistance in a couple of weeks and some code review and whatnot, versus, database digging, building, it sometimes it's sad. It's like, 5 years ago, this was not doable. Now it's just right there.
Yeah. I heard a phrase from months to minutes. Like that's literally what AI can do for you in so many different ways. I think that there's a lot of different ways to use AI, and there's lots of different tools out there. What is your favorite way to use AI, or the thing that you're most excited about right now with AI?
Ooh, you're excited about AI. I mean, we're doing some stuff with a variety of scraping formulas, kind of putting together where it's actually like predicting where our brokers should be going next, and what areas they should be positioning listings in, and then kind of pulling in pricing models. Stuff that you've been needing like 4 or 5 services for previously as a broker can now be kind of automated with a button click. Like, I'm thinking about doing this, and it's like, all right, this is what you're going to need to do this. This is the pitfalls of this area, of this market that you're looking at going into. So, I mean, it gets in depth, but we talk about it all day.
And it's funny because we used to do market research and data analysis and all of that, like pen and paper kind of concept. And now we don't have to do it on our own. And we can get so much more information from something like ChatGPT than we ever could trying to do it. And it can bring it together in such a way that actually makes sense for what you're trying to do with your business, making decisions, taking risks, that type of thing. So I love that that's where your brain went of how can I utilize that information. So what were the key, like thinking about the strategic moves that you took to not just launch Lab, but also take it to the heights that it's at right now? What were the key inflection points that took Launch Lab from like local agency to like multi 6 figures?
I would say really came down to getting after it, which sounds funny, sounds really basic, but it's something that we teach all of our clients is they sit there, especially in the early phases, and they're like, okay, I need this. I got to have this. I need to perfect this. And I've said it on a lot of podcasts is just get that client first. Go after the client, find out what they want, partner with them, and then keep improving for them. And I think that's also part of our model is we haven't really changed our pricing a lot over the years. And so the people that are with us stay with us. We change it when we have to, when we need to, but we make the adequate amount of money so they feel partnered with, and they generally find us more people that need what we have, want to work with us. It's, I look at go spend $500,000 on marketing or spend a little bit less, or not a little bit less, charge my clients a little bit less to be able to have them keep referring the engine through. But really adding AI into the mix is taking it off too, because it can just take onboarding and just bring people in, get them up and running, and then they can do so much of it on their own. Whereas previously it was a team onboarding them. Now it's AI takes care of the initial, then person takes over, gets everything the way it needs to go, and off to the races. It's also sped up what we call the strategic analysis phase, where we really dig into people and see what they need. Like before, it was get the 7 people on the team together to like talk about everything that they found in their discovery and map it out. Now it's like everyone loaded into this folder that has all the rules for the AI engine built in, and now we sit down and we review that and tweak it, human in the loop type of, component.
Yeah. So do you have a team that does all of like your AI builds, or what does that look like for you guys?
So we've got a few core developers that got into AI, and then as AI's evolved, we've brought in people who specialize in AI. And, we're not the hugest company out there, so we definitely have, when we need something very specific, we source someone to come in for that component of it. We joke around. It's like we're building the bat cave. Like we only want like little components from people, because it's like, especially with AI, once it gets out exactly how to do what you're doing with it, your software is on the move.
Definitely. So did you start like implementing systems early on, or did you like kind of go through the hustle and grind and figure out like these are the things that I actually need?
I've always been an automator, and
Yeah.
so before AI, as a non-business person, I had a like almost enterprise level Zapier account because I automated stuff around the house. And
No way.
yeah. And so, people always would laugh when they come to their house. I've got little buttons that can, reorder things. And it's getting old now that, Alexa, I can just yell at it. But previous to that, it'd be like, turn on the lights, turn off the lights, do this, 3 clicks here. And for the multifamily business that we built, like we had to onboard 700 people in 4 months in like 6 different states. So it was like that stuff couldn't be pen and paper. It couldn't be like there had to be so many automations built in, because at that time there was 4 of us, so automations had to happen.
Yeah.
AI, and sometimes people confuse AI and automation. They're like, oh, this is going to create this little workflow. And it's like a little bit more, but, and that's, it was the natural transition from, automation and workflows to automation workflows and AI driven, and then AI creating automation and workflows to make the ones we have in place better. So.
Yeah, I know. I'm kind of a geek like that too. Like the first time I got my hands on, I think it was called an app called If This Then That.
Mm-hmm.
I was starting to automate everything I possibly could. It was like this whole other world, and why not, right? If we can automate things, and the cool thing about automation and AI in general is that not only does it save you a bunch of time, but it's done right every single time. Like the consistency around that, I think is not really talked about as much as the time saving that is there too. So I think that's super fun. So what is like the funnest thing that you feel like you've ever built?
The the funnest thing personally was, and it's funny that you mentioned if this then that, because I still get emails from them. I refuse to unsubscribe because I'm like, someday they'll catch back up with everything. I laugh when I see them come across my watch. But when the Internet of Things was first kind of coming around, and realizing like my washer, my dryer, my refrigerator, microwave, my stove, all of these things could talk to each other, and they could talk to us. I created an automation to ping me, and it was before they had like Samsung had apps for this and stuff, but send me a text when the laundry was done, and when because it's I want to know. Like we family of 6, we got to move stuff around. So like it was like one of those like, oh, laundry's done, and then eventually it was like, oh, send that to Alexa, and then eventually it was like, oh, they have an app now. But that was one of the ones like could always know. Everyone in the house could know right when the laundry was done, and it's that was one of those like game changers in the household. Like 6 people's laundry moved fast, where previously it'd be like the whole weekend someone like, oh, we gotta wash it again, it stayed in overnight.
Yes, I know, washing laundry again is like my big pet peeve, but it happens all the time, so I've got to set that up. That's really cool.
It's funny, just sitting there going like, I gotta throw more laundry detergent in. I gotta stay it overnight and throw some pellets in or something. But, I mean, in the business side of things, for my property, we built this thing called the Pocket Admin. And it was essentially the non-CRM CRM. Like it did everything in the CRM, but pretty much you just yelled at it. You just like opened up the app, and you're just like, they would just leave a voice message and be like, I need this property to be this price now, and I need to move this deal into this, and the system. And originally it was happening through parsing and through kind of recognition, and then AI really made it take off, because it's just like, okay, now do these things. And so it makes all those moves. And so then we have brokers that use our platform that have never logged in, have never seen the inside of it, because everything they need to do, they can do through an app that they can just yell into, and they get a confirmation email or text like, that happened. And they're like, all right, good. To the point where they've asked us, some of them have asked to stop getting the confirmation, which previous they wanted an email for everything. They to know everything was moving. I was like, all right, it's happening. I don't need to know.
Yeah. And because we're on the topic already, I think that there are some misconceptions between AI just being automation. So can you talk a little bit about the difference in your eyes between automation and AI?
I mean, I guess the easiest way to explain it is the difference between having an AI receptionist and having a call tree, where someone calls in and the voice call log says, would you like to speak to someone? 1, would you like to do this? 2, would you like to do this? 4, would you like to do this? 6, or whatever. And then it keeps just working you down this very finite set of instructions. And a lot of times you don't have the option. They don't have the option that you want. And you're just like sitting there pounding on 0 going agent, support. And whereas in like the AI receptionist that we've built, Kit answers the phone. It's constantly learning whatever you put into your knowledge base, your website, from talking to other people, from things that agents have been like, oh no, we want to say it this way, kind of reconfigures it. And it's doing new stuff all the time. Previously it was someone would call and say they're interested in this listing over here, and they're not sure what the name of it is. And it's like, oh, you're in front of the sign. And they're like, oh yeah. And is there a sign ID on the corner? And it asks the sign ID, and they gives them the information. It's like, would you like to set up some time to talk to the broker, John? And they're like, oh, I don't know. I want to know some more details about it. It's like, would you like us to send you the flyer? We could text it to you if you give us your number or your email. We can email it. And we're like collecting more lead information on the people by providing a convenience to them. And the chat works the same way, where it does that same kind of thing where it's like, hey, what are you trying to do today? And they start talking. It's like, all right, yeah, here's the information you need. And it helps our brokers not waste as much time, because there's so many people that call. They would have to take the call to be like, I just wanted to know about this. What's the price for this location? Oh no, that's more than we want to spend. But they had to spend that time. Now they know that happened. The person's like, oh, I was looking for something a little bit less. They'll get a ping from the receptionist to say, hey, this person was looking for something less. I did suggest to them this location over here, 2 blocks over, but you might want to follow up with them. Would you like me to set you a follow-up reminder? Oh yeah, I'll do that. it's almost like hand holding people as they, like, here's how you do your business.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, especially when you think of how business used to run, right? It was just you were responsible for every tiny little piece of it. And we build, we call her Kelly the caller. But of course, you can have any kind of voice associated with it. And it is amazing because it is so much more than automation. It really thinks through what is being given. It's even more than inputs, outputs, right? Like it takes all of that information, the knowledge of the company and all of the properties like you were just talking about, and uses it like a human would, which is just so fascinating.
It's funny.
I
We've had to put some restrictions in place because sometimes it's learning too much, and it's like there's things in the real estate world that you can't say, and it's like, oh well, the crime in this neighborhood is, and we're like, whoa. Down that part, like someone can do their own research on the crime in the neighborhood. Like this is average hospital emergency vehicle response time. Like nope, okay, don't look at these statistics. So it's funny where it's doing more than asked, and in the normal situation that'd be great, but every now and then it's like someone's like, hey, it's advising on crime rates around the properties, and we'll build in a block for that.
That's so neat. So in your own business, what remains like the biggest time drain or bottleneck that you haven't solved for yet?
I mean, there's always the 20,000 forms of communication, and we've developed a unified inbox for our clients as well as for ourselves to get rid of as much of that as possible. I mean, obviously every day someone pops up with something new. So we've got, we're feeding in Slack, all the social media feeds, Teams, Gmail, Outlook, used to feed in Google My Business until they stopped doing messages. But then all of a sudden, like someone's like, oh, here's WhatsApp. We're like, all right, now we're going to build something for WhatsApp. They're like, oh, message us through the most random place. All right, let's start getting that in there. So I think it's finding a way to have all the communication centralized. So it's not, how did they get that to me? Did they email me that? Did they send it through the chat? Did they do it through social media? And so I think that's communication is the biggest struggle. And then as you start to refine it, not losing the human side of it and not forgetting, sometimes just pick up the phone and give them a call.
Yeah. How do you balance the human side with the AI piece of it?
I mean, everything we do, we keep human in loop. I think it's important because, again, like we were talking about with the telling people crime rates and stuff like that, like you need someone to look, touch, feel, but it's getting less and less. So I guess the balance is making sure that people understand when they're using AI, what that's replacing for them, and what it should be opening up. So for like our real estate brokers, it should be opening up, it should be taking over those initial phases when people are quote unquote tire kicking and, just kind of gather some information and finding out. It should be doing that initial prospecting piece for you, finding what the best listings around are that you should be showing people. What you should be doing is looking at the relationships you have and continuing to grow those so that you're less you need to bring in. And I mean, we've even brought the AI into that, like, hey, this person's leased from you for this many years, their lease, because they can upload their leases into our system and it'll extract and get all the information. The lease is coming up. You want to send them some cookies, get on the phone with them, do whatever, see if, they need some help finding a new place, they need to grow, need to shrink. But teaching people how to like, hey, get out from behind the computer and off the phone and like make touch points with your people.
Yeah, business is still all about relationships, regardless of if AI is built in or not. It just helps us to become more, like, I should say, better at relationships because we don't have to try and remember, birthdays and that kind of thing. We can have it like right in front of us when the lease is up, like you were saying. So,
or when they throw it on the call and it records the call, it makes the little summary in the notes and then does a customized follow-up email that'll summarize all that and send out. It's like, great, you do that part, then go do the stuff that the people want, make them happy. Rather than sitting there trying to figure out like, what should I write in this email? What was it that we needed to? What were they going to do? What were we going to do?
Yeah, Yeah, I know. I find that I almost don't even take notes on calls anymore because I know I've always got my note taker in there. And the notes that it takes are so much more organized than I could ever do on my own. And I'm the type of person that if I'm writing something down, I'm not really listening to what you're saying. So I can really focus on what is going on in the conversation. So AI and the possibilities are just endless. So what is next for Launch Lab? What big milestone or expansion are you most excited about?
Oh, well, we just went through an org structure change, so we've been working on that for a long time. So I do think it is my property's expansion. Like we've really held it to a few markets. I mean, we have people in a bunch of markets, but we've concentrated on one market at a time. Primarily start with Houston, move down into the Florida area, just so we could like start getting like really, really saturating the market and people talking about us and getting to us, because we go up against a lot of big, well-known companies that people pay a lot of money to and don't get a whole lot out of it. So we couldn't go fully wide, but now it's 4.5, almost 5 years in for my property. It's ready for its next expansion. I mean, we're just about to release, it's funny that we're talking about AI, but the AI listing builder. So essentially they just give it the address and it'll source pictures if they're out there. It'll put together all the listing details. Cause I mean, most of the real estate stuff is already out there, most of the new development. And then, the brokers just need to review it and then add their own pictures if they have some or whatnot and kind of customize it. But rather than going in and typing, no, it's this many square feet, it's this much, and it's like, here, it's all in there. Just check it. And that's again, that's the human component too. Like, just check it. Don't 100% trust it. Just make sure, because sometimes they'll even add the address incorrectly, and then they get a whole bunch of different details than they thought.
I love it. Oh, this is so cool. It's fun to geek out with someone around AI who loves it just as much as I do. And you are doing some incredible things in this space and helping so many people. And I think that's really what it's all about. So if people want to know more about how they can get access to this incredible system and just talk to you, how do they find you?
So, I mean, it depends how they're coming at me, but I'll always meet them where they're at. So if they come to the website and they hit us up on the chat, our AI will get them over to me. LinkedIn, always a good spot. And I guess also depending on what they're interested in, because we have the two major brand lines. We have Launch Lab for the marketing side and my property, but yeah. I'm findable. It's part of our business, help people be findable.
Love it. Definitely connect with him. He is absolutely incredible in all the things that you guys are doing. And thank you for, giving us a peek of the back office and what you guys are working on and how things have been going for you in your business. I think as entrepreneurs and business owners, we can all learn from each other. So thank you so much for being on the show.
Thanks for having me on today. It was great.
Awesome. Okay. Well, thanks for tuning in to Mastering AI Momentum, where AI means not just artificial intelligence, but also abundance and impact. Because scaling isn't about doing more. It's about building smarter and staying true to what matters most. We'll see you on the next episode. Thanks, guys.
You've been listening to Mastering AI Momentum. If today's episode gave you clarity or sparked a breakthrough, share it, review it, leave us a comment, and show Ali and Elise how you're turning AI into ROI. And make sure you subscribe, because the next episode could be the strategy that unlocks your next level. Until then, build smart, scale fast, and let AI multiply your momentum.